Hello, how are we? This is a brand new channel. This is my personal channel where essentially I'm just going to be chatting to myself for at least the next year. Every week I'm gonna make a video on this channel every Sunday, maybe if it, whatever time zone you're in, it might be Monday morning, where I'm talking to myself, giving myself and potentially somebody watching this an update as to what's going on, as to my plans, as to how things have been, and it's kind of like a personal diary for me to look back on. And I'll probably post this on my Instagram as well, or something like that. So today technically is the 1st of December. That's when I'm gonna be uploading this, but usually this will be on a Sunday. This is I'm recording this like it is Sunday the 30th of November. So yeah, big stuff going on this week. Mainly, first of all, before I go into any specifics of what's going on this week, because this is the first video in the channel, I want to kind of give you a macro overview. And that's what this video should be about, kind of a macro overview of where things are going, direction, and what my plans are. So my absolute North Star number one goal that I want to hit is $100,000 a month USD. That's the goal, right? And from the trainings that I've gone through, I've learned that it's probably not a good idea to put a time frame on an output goal, right? If my goal was to do 100 cold calls, I can say, okay, I want to do 100 cold calls today, because it's only me that dictates when those 100 cold calls are done. But with something that's more abstract and something that's more of an output, like 100k per month, or like booking 5 meetings instead of doing 100 dials, it's slightly less up to you. So putting the time frame on it can be a little bit detrimental, because then it opens, means that you can fail, right? Which isn't always great. So in the majority of my decision making practices, it's not really something that I like to do. But for the next year, I have. And that's purely because I'm in a situation where I don't, like, realistically, if I make $0 all of next year, and for the next 100 years, I'm probably still going to be doing this. This is something that I'm committing to long term. So the option of failure doesn't really exist for me. So let's say I have 100k per month by this time frame as the goal, and I don't hit it. Look, it's a situation where I'm reaching for the stars and I'm landing on them, so I'm not that stressed about it. So for me personally, in this instance, I'm putting a time frame on it. So where I want to be is at 100k per month by the end of 2026, which seems very, very reasonable, to be completely honest with you. It's a very reasonable time frame for me to set for this goal. And to get there, of course, the number one thing, first of all, that's going to dictate my getting there is going to be my environment. So right now I'm in Bangkok. I'm in Bangkok for another 20 days until December 20th. Then I go home, spend 2 weeks, maybe 3, with like my family back home for Christmas, for New Year's Eve, and then after that, for basically the entirety of 2026, I'm going to pick one place and live there for the entire year, and have a core kind of home base. I'm not gonna nomad around every 1 month or 2 months. I'm gonna have an absolute stable core base that I want to be in, and that's the situation I'm still kind of deciding. The number one place that I do have in mind though is Sapporo, which is like the northern part of Japan, where it snows for like 5 months of the year. So that's going to be awesome. Of course, winter, cool. What did you want to say, bro? That could be cool. And then the other month is like a very perfect temperature. It's got a lot of nature, a lot of beautiful shit around, good high quality food, good high quality people. Not degenerate like Bangkok where I am right now, or Tokyo or something like that. It's much more high quality. That's an option. Nara is another option. Once again, in Japan, it's more south, and it's kind of traditional, slow, very like peaceful place. I don't want a place like Bangkok that has a lot of stimulation. But even that being said, I mean, with Bangkok, it's not like Bangkok wouldn't work forever. It's just that it has some downsides. But I mean, for me, I haven't even experienced any of the degeneracy in Bangkok besides 1 or 2 nights, because especially when you're in a high rise like me, like I'm as much as I'm quote unquote close to it, I'm still far away from it. It's down there and I'm up here, so I can still work 8 hours a day up here and be completely fine. So that kind of gives me like maybe Tokyo, maybe Bangkok, maybe somewhere like Saigon, definitely somewhere in East/Southeast Asia. And the number one reason for this, as much as it's probably backwards to say this, the number one reason I want to be in a place like Japan or South Korea or Bangkok is actually time zones. Because for me right now it's 6:30 a.m., which means it's 6:30 p.m. in the majority of the US. Well, on the East Coast it's 6:30, on the West Coast it's like 3:30. So what that means is if I wake up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something like that every day, which I already do, and I plan to continue to keep doing all through next year, I can work from, I can do 8 hours of work from 4 a.m. to like 12, maybe 12:30 with a 30-minute break. So from 4 a.m. to 12:30, I can do 8 hours of solid deep work, and it aligns with Western time zones. And after that, I'm more or less, I'm majority done with my work day, and it's only 12:30, and I still have the whole day and evening ahead of me. That seems like the best routine for me to be in. I've been doing that. I've been locked in on that recently. It's been a very, very enjoyable routine to have. So yeah, it's probably something that I want to stick to, because if I'm in the US, of course, or if I'm in like in Costa Rica somewhere with US time zones, then if I wake up at 4, there's not going to be sales schools for me to take at 4 because everybody's asleep. So this does seem like it would be a pretty perfect time zone situation for me. And then alongside that, I'm very familiar with these types of places. Like I've stayed in Bangkok now for like 3 months. I've been to other places in Thailand, been to Japan. Like this area, I'm definitely familiar with, and I'm happy to live in. Then alongside that, and this is something that I definitely need to keep in mind, is that staying in a place like the two that I'm most kind of bought into is Sapporo, like northern Japan, where it's snowing and there's beautiful nature, and Nara, which is like a bit more southern near Kyoto and Osaka, with this cool deer. It's like temples and shrines and shit. But I think it's definitely going to be more beneficial for me to choose a place like that, whether it's Sapporo or Nara, a place that's more kind of, I guess, quote unquote dead, than Tokyo or Bangkok or something like that. Because it's a sacrifice, right? You sacrifice for your goals, or your goals become the sacrifice. And I could easily go live anywhere that I want to, like Bangkok or like Manila, Philippines, or Cebu City, Philippines, or Chiang Mai, Thailand, or Saigon, Vietnam, and have a great time and go do crazy shit. But you sacrifice to your goals, or your goals become the sacrifice. The biggest thing that I want to do next year is sacrifice, right? So take the L in terms of not doing the fun, crazy shit. Take the L in terms of not eating the amazing food and having a locked-in diet. Take the L of not going out and going to bed at 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m. every night. I want to quote unquote take the L on those things and kind of give them up and abstain from them for maybe forever, I don't know, but at the very least for 2026, and just have the business growing as my absolute number one core focus. I think that's where I want to take it next year. I want to take it far, far above and beyond. So there's no 100% locked in place yet. This is the hard thing, man. It's kind of an analysis paralysis situation, because there are so many genuinely amazing options. Like Sapporo, like I just talked about, is a great option. But Nara is a great option. Fukuoka is a great option. Da Nang is a great option. Hanoi is a great option. Rayong in Thailand is a great option. There's like crazy villas in the middle of nowhere in the mountains in Thailand, which would be so cool to just be amongst the mountains, completely isolated, locked in. There's so many great options, man. It's something that I'm gonna have to work out, But once it is worked out, and obviously you'll hear about that first here on the channel, once this once I have decided this, I'm gonna stick to it, and it's gonna be 100% this for the next 12 months. That being said, even though I'm gonna have one home base for 12 months, what I'm probably gonna do is every 90 days do something. Right, so for example, for example March 31st ish, around then, I'm going to want to take probably 1 or 2 days in Manila, because I've got a lot of my team in the Philippines. So 1 or 2 days there to meet up with the team, have like a cigar night with my team would be pretty cool for the business, for my team's morale. Also, it would just be an enjoyable time. And then maybe then I'd go another 90 days of absolute focus, locked in this, and then for 4 days I just go to Mongolia, right? And then another 90 days absolutely locked in, and then 3 or 4 days in the pyramids of Giza. That's what my next year's probably going to look like, right? And in terms of like life shit to do, going to the pyramids would be cool, so I can expose them Graham Hancock style, if you know. And Mongolia would just be fucking cool as shit, right? Or maybe Kazakhstan, I don't know. So that's okay, fair. Okay, I'll take the L. I'll go snowboarding with my family once. I'll go to Manila to see my team. I'll go to Mongolia and fucking ride some horses and be Genghis Khan, and I'll go see the pyramids. Okay, that's 4 things I'm gonna do that next year. But aside from that, wherever it might be, Sapporo, Nara, fucking Da Nang, wherever it might be, I just want to be absolutely focused on the business. And I've definitely spent a lot of time mapping and planning where I want the business to be, like at the end of this month, at December 31st, where I want it to be March 31st, where I want it to be June 30th, and then December 31st. So kind of a 1 month, 4 month, 7 month, and then, I guess 12, 13 month goal. And then this is something that I've told some people to do, and I really think this is an amazing practice to do. But using your goals to reverse engineer and create a kind of macro to-do list, right? Because if you kind of map out where you want the business to be, in terms of team, in terms of appointments and content, in terms of sales, show-ups, closing, in terms of your products, in terms of ads, everything that you can think about in the business, if you can properly map out where you want the business to be in, like I said, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and then, to get to the 12-month goal, you have to get to the 6-month goal. To get to the 6-month goal, you have to get to the 3-month goal. To get to the 3-month goal, you have to get to the 1-month goal. And then the 1-month goal can just be broken down into 4 weekly goals. And so you can create a goal for this week, for next week, for the week after that. And then you're mapped out all the way towards your 1-month goal. And then, of course, you're not going to be able to do it in the same detail because it's further out, so you're kind of guessing more. But you can map it out from 1 month to 3 months in terms of the big to-dos that you have to get done. And then same with the 3 to 6 and 6 to 12. And like I said, I'm only going from now to 1 month from now. It's a very short time frame, so you can be a lot more specific with the weekly inputs that you're going to get done. From month 8 to 10, it's going to be a bit more kind of fuzzy. So you're going to have to kind of just do a bit more big picture, and fill in the details as you get closer. But that's a very good way that I like to do now for goal setting, and it's what I've done in terms of mapping out what next year is going to look like. So the way that we are going to actually get to 100k per month, which of course is by all means the absolute number one North Star, is this is the thing, that it's very simple. And in terms of like knowledge of the business, I feel like I and plenty of people have more than enough knowledge to get there. It's not some massively impossible task that nobody's done before. Dozens of people in the info space have gotten to 7 figures. It's not crazy whatsoever, right? And something that actually really helps me is that I see my friends who I started with there, right? A friend of mine called Liam is at like 160k per month Australian. Another friend of mine called James is at 270k per month. So it really helps me, because me not being there is I'm just thinking like, bro, what the fuck? What am I doing? I'm not at 7 figures like annually. I'm mentally handicapped, So that really helps me out in terms of paradigm and beliefs. But it's going to be very simple. What I want to get done this month, and I can just be kind of very brutally honest with you on this channel is that, I've already hit, the 10, 20, the 5-figure months before. That's that's fine. It's whatever, right? And what happened? So now I'm in Bangkok, and here in Bangkok, as much as Bangkok's the Sin City degeneracy, I've been able to be locked in Bangkok. But for like 4, for even 5 months, when I was back home this year, when I was kind of living in my old parents' home, it was cooked. Like, it was very, very hard when I was in that old environment to be consistent, and so I was right. I did the wrong things. Wasn't signing clients, wasn't going well, and I dropped, far, far below what I would consider my minimum standard. And this is the thing. This is why I know it's going to be so easy to scale for me. It's because, like, let's say if I right now double my revenue, I would feel like shit. I still would not be anywhere near happy. Did my camera just fall? 1 second. Let me fix that. There we go. If I doubled my revenue right now, I would still be like, oh, this is shit. If I tripled it, I'll still be like, oh, this is shit. If I quintupled it, I'll still be like, oh, this is kind of shit. So my, I guess, paradigm-wise, I'm completely ready for exponential growth. And it's the only thing that would fucking make me not depressed. Not obviously not actually depressed, but you know what I mean. So I'm completely ready for it paradigm-wise. And systems-wise, I mean, we have everything we need. It's just a matter of scale. So the system that I have for cold DMs that we call our Obsidian DM engine, it's the best on the market. It's incredible. It's very, very good on 5 kind of key main platforms that we do it on. So me plus the sellers that we have hiring, there's no reason why in a month from now, at most, we shouldn't be at 300 plus DMs per day. That's completely possible. It's just a matter, and because this is the thing, right, is that 2 months ago I said that, and then 1 month ago we should have been there. 1 month ago I said that, and now we should be there. So I'm saying it now, and then in 1 month we should be there. So why is it just gonna why wouldn't it just fail again? And what I've learned through these first 2 kind of iterations is that, first of all, the depth of understanding from the setters really matters. And that's why I've made it into this full Obsidian DM engine, which is the best training that I think is in the world for cold DMs. And then second of all is being proactive, right? Because, we kind of do this thing with cold DMs where we scale horizontally. Instead of just trying to send 100 DMs per day on one platform, we instead have, 5 different accounts where we send 20 DMs per day to achieve 100 DMs per day. And being proactive in terms of making the accounts, in terms of making sure the accounts don't get banned, in terms of immediately unbanning the accounts. When you just kind of get lazy and just want to avoid something and you don't really want to think about it, that's when shit starts to break, right? So if I and my setters can instill a rule of absolute proactivity and to have the uncomfortable situations ASAP, that's really going to help us out. That's going to be massive. So yeah, that's going to be good. And then alongside that, through a bunch of other home booking systems that we have, we're looking to hit. There's a specific, obviously I'm not going to say the exact number in public, but there's an exact number that we want to hit, appointments wise, shows wise, closes wise, closing rate wise, revenue wise, all that good stuff, in December. And then once I am locked in whichever place I am in, whichever, like I said, whether it's Sapporo, Nara, wherever it might be, once I am locked in a specific place, that's where things are going to get cool, because that's where I can just absolutely put my head down. I'm already, it's very nice being in a routine here in Bangkok, but that's going to last for another 20 days. So, and that's actually a really good thing, because what I'm doing right now in Bangkok probably isn't sustainable long term. I'm for the next 20 days, like today, yesterday, and from now on, I'm in like absolute war mode, if that's what you want to call it, to where I'm just working. That's kind of it, right? I'm working for the first 8 hours of the day, then I'm going to the gym, and then I'm coming back and I'm kind of working again, and then I'm just kind of work a bit more, and then I'm eating, and then I'm going to sleep, and then kind of repeat Monday to Sunday. That's the situation that I'm in right now, just absolute work. So it's going to be that by all means it's possible, it's completely possible. So I'm not going to burn out after 20 days. That's not how burnout works. So I'm about to go absolutely all in with this for the next 20 days, and then come back home, do more or less the same thing. Of course, besides, for example, Christmas, if I spend it with my family, or New Year's, stuff like that. And then in January, decide where we want to go as soon as possible, and get into a routine that's going to work long term there, right? To where it's probably going to be Monday to Friday, absolute discipline, locked in, yada yada yada. And then maybe it's going to look like, I'm not 100% decided, maybe it's going to look like, Saturdays, the exact same thing, absolutely locked in. And on Saturdays, when I plan next week, so I'm going to do all of that stuff. And then Sunday is like completely nothing, absolutely rest, to rebuild for the next week. Maybe it's I work only for like the first 2-3 hours of Sunday, and then I go to sleep, and then not go to sleep, but then I rest. I'm not 100% sure as to what that'll be, but it needs to be that kind of some type of middle ground to where I'm still super disciplined, but I'm not so far that it's gonna kill me and I can't sustain it for 12 months, right? So yeah, 100k per month next year, December 31st, 2026 is the goal. And I know I just went on a bit of a tangent, but getting back into how that's actually going to happen. Of course, we're going to hit our goals for this month, and that's going to help us grow. Hit our goals for next month, and we're going to start running ads and start, having a sales team and start making massive improvements to the product and getting more external coaches and more external courses being made by people with expertise in different areas, and keeping it one-to-one, which is our kind of, the main thing that's separating us from any big competitors. I'm going to be there with you and hold your hand to add 10k per month to your agency, which is, by the way, if you don't know who I am or my business is, I work with marketing agencies. I do online coaching, so I originally had my own marketing agency, grew that, and now I kind of work with other marketing agencies and AI agencies, stuff like that, and we help them get more clients, make more money, etc., etc. And if with our program, if they don't add 10k to their revenue in 180 days, we give them 7.5k to say sorry. So we've kind of got a crazy risk reversal there. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it for this first one. It's kind of more than anything like an introduction video in terms of my goals, my plans for next year. These videos are going to be like this, raw, no editing, no filters, just me talking about what I want to get done with personal life, business. I'm sure there'll be videos about my dating life, my social life, about all these, little things. Because like I said, this is quite literally just me talking to myself and putting it on the internet for people to see. So yeah, video one of many to come for the rest of this year and for next year. Very nice speaking to you. Very nice speaking to myself. And I will see you next week. Bye bye.